Hello guys, I hope so you are doing well. Recently certain journos were invited to try out the demo for Wolverine and it was around 2.5 hours. And then outlets like GameSpot etc. they made their videos based on that demo of Wolverine. And when gamers watched it, uh, the reception so far has been quite negative. So gamers are calling out the problems within the game such as more focuses on cinematics, cutscenes, and game and even during gameplay seems more like a PlayStation movie slop, the typical movie-like games of PlayStation, rather than a game made for the gamers, more like a game made for the critics. And such negative reception before a few months of release is actually concerning for Insomniac Games. So journos and Insomniac Games are not happy about it at all. So firstly, GameStop, GameSpot is crying like a crybaby in this article defending Insomniac Games and hating on gamers. Marvel's Wolverine is another victim of the internet's endless gaming negativity. And in this same time period, PlayStation did a separate game state of play for Phantom Blade Zero, and Phantom Blade Zero's which it showed cinematics and gameplay. It's quite well received by gamers, and even physical gamers like me who are protesting against PlayStation decision to end this game disc by 2028. We protested in that live stream of Phantom Blade Zero. But gamers made it clear that our protest and resistance is against PlayStation's decision, but no hate for the game. Uh, the state of play for your game is awesome. And even other Asian games who are also releasing in the in the same similar time frame as Wolverine, they also got positive reception. So why only the games like these from the West are only getting negative reception? So means there is a problem with the Western games. And even this was community noted, but probably GameSpot reported it considerably and got it removed because due to physical media news these days, the word GameStop is I'm more used to that word than GameSpot, so that's why I made mistake of saying GameSpot multiple times as GameStop. Sorry. And gamers are roasting the shit off devs aren't even willing to listen to what players have to say. Then what's the point of doing all that marketing in the first place? These are the same people that treated Palwall and Crimson Desert so poorly, now clutching their pearls. And that's the current state of Insomniac Games. Holy F, the trailer sucks. It isn't that deep. Weird how everyone loves other games, but not the dear sweet baby games. It's like a consistent and predictable pattern. And regarding Sweet Baby, I would like to say that it was in around 2021 that Sweet Baby announced association with Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine. And since the Sweet Baby's involvement in Spider-Man 2 was received quite negatively, so it is possible that Insomniac might have put Sweet Baby aside or might have scrapped all their work for Wolverine. But I can't be sure. That we will know upon release of the game. So I take this with a grain of salt. No, there's no buy. And this was a time when Western developers were upset over Elden Ring success. So, so when they themselves were being negative about Asian games, so no problem. But when gamers are giving legitimate constructive criticism against the game, so they are not happy. And even Insomniac's communication manager, I think the wild way this algorithm amplifies and forces negativity upon you has me reconsidering my philosophy on telling devs to look out post here. It's a relentless onslaught that I cannot believe it's good for anyone's mental health. Not representative. I myself believe that mental health is quite important. especially during my years of experiences teaching. So besides teaching them well, it's also important that the mental health of students stay right, so that they can perform in exams as per their potential. So yeah, taking care of mental health is important, but these clowns are using mental health as an excuse to dodge criticism, which is not good at all. Because criticism leads to improvement. And even I called him out on such a clown post. Why you Western devs can't take criticism and use mental health excuse to dodge any of it? You guys are not God. When legends like, and I'm going to talk about these later in my video, made an epic comeback. So you guys can too. Criticism leads to improvement, but you guys are screwing yourself with toxic positivity. I was excited for Wolverine, but recent purchases have dimmed my hopes. So better you guys can improve in meantime instead of fighting with critics. But the problem is that I have been shadow banned on X because I have been shadow banned for inauthentic behaviors. Because I was spamming comments on different PlayStation accounts as a measure of protest against his decision. But X counted it as in having inauthentic behaviors. So probably these comments have not been read by this clown. So I'm trying to avoid commenting on as many posts as possible. But I was in a mode to take dig at this idiot. And when your game is about to release in a few days, so even if your response to your game is negative, so the best way is to stay silent and let the game speak rather than arguing with each and everyone. And even he was arguing with people. So being communication managers, communication directors, he doesn't know the basics of communication. Because when you fight with each and everyone on social media like this, so you're going to piss more gamers off, and that will affect the sales of your own game. And this time, still there is a lot of time on the game's release, so they can use it to improve the game, and rather than fighting with the critics. So this is quite pathetic by X, probably to protect the corporations. So even if their product is bad, they want gratification for that. So that's one of the problems in the Western gaming industry. So the toxic positivity is destroying these games and the studios. Even in teaching, my students criticize me. Even at times, I had to admit my mistake and apologize to the parents and students for mistakes of mine. And I took it positively because of that, I improved in my subsequent experiences of dealing with students, and results of my students improved too. And even certain suggestions were made to me by my students. I was not considering doing those things, but on the basis of student feedback, when I did those things, my students were even more satisfied with me. So that's the poor state. And whereas here are two clips that how Wolverine is bad. Here you guys can take a look at one of the gameplay sections. Now you guys can see that in such a section, you just have to move forward, and you literally don't have to defend yourself against anything. I've played even few Call of Duty games. In Call of Duty games, you have to properly deal with all the obstacles in order to make it forward. So in other games, you have to place a sections, you have to avoid the obstacles, the attacks, the barriers, the projectiles, etc. But here you can see just move forward and you are done. And actually, this is a chase scene that has been modified as a meme by gamers. So actually, there's a chase sequence, and the problem is uh, that the character you have to chase, there will be constantly a red light or red marking around him. So just if you focus on the color, you will be able to do the chase sequence without focusing on the environment, without focusing on the obstacles, without focusing on platforming, and without bothering to look for the cues of the character which you have to chase. This is that red color, red marking. Okay, must replace that with the play server. And by the way, such section in one of the exclusive style update, which is not exclusive anymore, this section was called epic in style update. So in style update, you have in such a in such section you have to avoid a very powerful weapon which fires highly dangerous laser projectiles. You have to make use of the environment. You have to take cover. You have to make use of the vehicles which are parked in the parking lot. Actually, such section takes place in a parking lot instead of it. So you have to clear the section by playing it properly. But here you guys can see. So even the gameplay so far seems mediocre, and the reasons are that hirings in these Western game studios, they are mainly based on DI and EST, and also whom the applicants vote for in the elections. So if you qualify and merit for the job, but your voting choices don't align with that of the studio, probably you will not be hired. And if you are mediocre, and if you even don't deserve to be on this, deserve to get this job, but you have correct politics, so you will be hired probably. And and actually there is evidence of DI and ESG hirings at Insomniac. So first we will start with Mackenzie Patrick. By the way, LinkedIn is the club of the worst corporate bootleggers on the planet. So in LinkedIn, you will see everyone kissing ass of the billion-dollar corporations to get jobs. I hate this platform, but to find out information about such clowns, LinkedIn is the way to go. And LinkedIn is also hell bent on DI and ESG, so it pushes those agendas as well. So she was a character artist at Concord, and though Concord was a pathetic failure, but she is still using one of the characters which she designed Concord as the cover picture on LinkedIn. A game which was one of the worst failures in gaming history. And you guys can see that this is an atrocious character. But when she shared on LinkedIn about this character, this is example of toxic positive. All the positive emojis. It's main, you made it, stunning, stunning, well done, such insanely good, so amazing. I think I was one of the people to like it on Art Station. And she seems like a Muslim like me. But I don't care whether the artists are Muslim or not. I care more about that whether they can create great characters or not. So that matters more for me. I'm not obsessed with people who look like me who are of the same religion as me. They should get hired. They should be represented. No, I don't care. And probably I think so. She's a DI hire. So this is example of toxic positivity. Even though the character design is shit, but in LinkedIn all are corporate bootleggers, so they are appreciating. They are showering this shit with praises. And probably some of these commanders are doing that to That if Mackenzie Patrick gets happy with them, she might get them job opportunities at Insomniac. So that's also the reason. But all this positivity here that didn't translate to sales and positive reception by the gamers. Concord is one of the worst failures in gaming. So means there is a problem with her character designs. And instead of suffering consequences for her pathetic work at Concord, she failed upwards at Insomnia Games. Why? And she has also worked on the Halo Infinite. And Halo Infinite is also one of the worst Halo games that didn't get a good reception upon release. So obviously, and there are by the way, there are other artists working on Wolverine. She's not only the one, but obviously, her mediocrity will reflect on the character designs of certain characters in the game. So Brittany Morris, she was advanced writer for Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine, but she left Insomniac Games in 2025. So it's not known that whether all her work will be used for Wolverine, whether some of it will be used, or entire work of her will be discarded and will be replaced by someone else's work. But all her work is reflected in Spider-Man 2. The writing was shit, the characters were pathetic, and Miles Morales was treated like a god in Spider-Man 2, while Peter was being humiliated at each and every point in the game. And Spider-Man 2 was like black good, white bad. So probably it was quite her doing. And actually, she is a book writer, and Life is Strange. The game is made by liberals, and it promotes all the woke agendas and other writings of her in which her focus is on black plus LGBTQ content, and also she focuses on black bad, black good, white bad. And in certain posts, she was racist against the white people. So because of such hirings, the quality of Western games is in the gutter, and that's why they are continuously failing, and Western studios are having layoffs. Now there are examples in which the developers, all the studios, took criticism and improved their products massively. So the first is Capcom. And by the way, I don't like Bogba Soup much. No doubt he plays Resident Evil games phenomenally. But there are reasons which I can talk about later. That's not the focus here. So in this video, he's actually completing survey for those who played Requiem. Capcom gave them opportunity. Who bought Requiem? Capcom gave them opportunity to fill the survey. And on the basis of these surveys, Capcom actually makes improvements in the future games. And this is quite evident. Resident Evil 3 remake, it got quite negative reception. So Capcom took feedback from it and massively improved in the Resident Evil 4 remake. And they also made those improvements in the separate base DLC, and probably those improvements are also going to show in Code Veronica. So Capcom is fully allowing the paying customers to give honest feedback.
The toilet.
Let's hear a few words.
But Capcom actually reads there. So, and may I add really quick?
And he's going to raise.
I think almost every survey they've done in the past 5 years, that's like, what games do you want to see from us? Dino Crisis wins every time or gets top 2. So, that's why I always say I believe Dino Crisis is coming back, because it keeps winning. It keeps winning. getting nowhere but the toilet. Hi, YouTube. I am taking the Requiem survey. So you might be thinking to yourself, why bother? Who cares? Well, Japan heavily cares, actually. They really take these surveys dead serious, which is surprising me too, because if you see an American survey, you may as well use it as toilet paper because, I mean, that shit ain't getting nowhere.
And though Bogba Super is liberal and he's woke to an extent, not hyper woke, but to an extent. But he is also admitting that Japanese take the feedback seriously while West ignores the feedback from customers. And then the best example I'm going to show you guys. What happened with Bloodstained Ritual of the Night? Actually, this Koji Igarashi guy, he was a Castlevania veteran at Konami. But when companies like Konami mainly transitioned to 3D games, and Koji Igarashi, he still wanted to make 2.5 or 2D games, but Konami was not allowing him to after some time. So he left, formed his own studio, and wanted to make a 2.5 or 2D game. And he started a Kickstarter for it. And from fans, he raised a 5 million, and he used that 5 million to make this game. And those who supported this game on Kickstarter, they got the opportunity to play beta before the release. And in this trailer, the feedback from those gamers will be shown. Personally, the lighting is the number one thing I would improve. The gameplay is fine, everything else looks really rough. I still have hopes, but this looks rough. Bad character animation. Look at the background. The environments are look awful. Some basic models look like 2000.
Forgotten the
Art
way it
style looks like
felt.
we're better of this game.
Like uninvited clothes.
So the response was mostly negative. But this is Koji Igarashi. And he got all this negative feedback despite being a veteran when he was making this game. Despite being much more experienced than the clowns at Insomniac Games. He could have also cried on social media that all such criticism, it was not easy for me to make this game. I did not get support from any company. I had to do funding by using Kickstarter. And I went through a lot of stress to make this game. And gamers are just hating on my game. And he would have argued with these fans on social media. But he's going to show what he did. And despite being veteran, what he did.
Natuloy ka na eh!
I will give them. He makes it clear that he's going to learn from this all this criticism, and he's going to listen to the fan feedback, and he's going to make improvements accordingly. And now in this trailer, it will be shown that how these improvements were incorporated. Right now you can see for yourself how improvements were made. I think so that's enough. And in a period of 1 year till 2020, the game sold around 1 million, more than 1 million copies. And now it's 2026, so probably sales of the game are even higher. I also want to get this game, but the disc of this game is quite rare, so it's hard to find a disc of this game, and I don't want to buy it digitally. So and the last example, Cory Barlog, who is also a woke ally. But at that time, things were quite better. Santa Monica and Cory Barlog were not as woke as they are now. Now for Lofe, you guys know that they are ignoring all the fan criticism. But at that time, Shuhei Yoshida made them listen to feedback.
What does that mean? Well, that means you
when
go
God of
back
War
to the drawing
2018 was
table and
being
you
made.
do it again. And, we've had even, I think, a shoe visit a little while ago in March where second he left the room, I was like, that was not good. There's something that in his facial expression that is telling us there's an issue here. And then, Shannon calls a little while later and says, Shu had some notes.
He was not happy, but I don't think I read exactly how unhappy he was. I was not very perceptive on that one, and it was Carlo who ran into him, and Shuhei starts telling him, I was horrified how bad it was.
I think the team, you know, rightfully so, gets nervous when they hear like, oh, Shu's playthrough, was not all positive, right? And people start to say, well, what does this mean? What does this mean? And it means we gotta solve this problem, right? Like we do every single day. And
like, this is a really big guy in Sony, and he did not have a very good experience. And I still was under the impression it was not a very good experience, not horrified. Horrified how bad it was. I think that he probably walked out of that room that first time going like, what the hell did we do? We just gave this guy a lot of money to make this game. Did we make a mistake?
And actually, this documentary was made in 2021 after the success of I think 2020 or 2021. This was released after the success of God of War 2018. And when I didn't have a PS5, I played God of War 2018 at one of my friend's home. He asked me to try this game on his PS4, and I even didn't like the God of War 2018. The first fight was quite disappointing, and actually like the combat of the God of War games of the Greek mythology. So I'm more a fan of those games rather than I felt the combat in this reboot was quite slow and it was not of my taste. But many people love this game and it's evident in the massive success of this game. So means a majority of the gamers like this game. So in this documentary, they are telling that when Shuhei Yoshida played a demo of this game, he was not happy at all, and he gave honest feedback that this is shit, and he was horrified. And you guys can see in this documentary that instead of making excuses, instead of using mental health as an excuse to dodge criticism, they took all the criticism seriously, and Cory Barlog and team made improvements in the game. And because on the Shuhei based on the base of Shuhei Yoshida's feedback, and that translated to massive success for the game. Otherwise, it might have ended as mediocre or failure. And at the time, Cory Barlog was not crazy wokey, but now he's extremely woke. You guys can check his X posts. And even other stuff at Santa Monica Studios, they are the typical. They are of the typical woke beliefs. Now, this is the most recent article written by one of the journos at Push Square, a massive PlayStation shill. After online storm, here's the truth about Wolverine behavior. So some points are actually valid in this article that after all this negative feedback, this specific journo tried the demo at Insomniac. And no, it's not just band random button mashing. You have to use specific combos. Quick time events, they are very few. Stealth is optional, and there are two ways to revive: a healing attack and a revive mechanic. For revive mechanic, you have to do attack, and for healing, it will use one of the bars. There's go character builds, nightmare doors, 25 suits, whiskey bottles, center boss fight isn't great. So actually, that's appreciable that the journal is trying to provide more details about the game. So certain things which are perceived negatively in the trailers and the previews, that actually might not be the case. Gamers might have made a mistake in judging the game, but the footages speak for themselves. In Phantom Blade Zero's most recent state of play footage, it's cinematic and its great gameplay is evident. So, and gamers already played other games, so they can make judgment. And by the way, what's the purpose of these trailers, etc.? So that gamers can make judgment before buying, or else Insomniac can release a public demo for everyone to try if they are that confident. And if they want to shut down all the critics, the best option can be make a demo available for everyone on the PS Store, and that's the best way to shut critics down. But they are not. They will never do that. So I thought of covering this. Bye.